Imagine the shockwaves across the auto industry when a CEO steps on stage and confirms that their most secretive, most talked about engine isn't just a rumor, it's real. That is exactly what Mercedes has done. The company has finally revealed that the YASA Flux engine exists. An engine once whispered about in hushed tones is now front and center.
This isn't just any motor. Early reports claim it's so powerful and so radically different that giants like Tesla, BYD, and Toyota could soon be losing sleep. If this engine makes its way into production cars, the entire game, petrol, diesel, and even today's electric batteries could be flipped on its head. But the big question remains, what makes this engine so special? Is it truly the game changer the industry has been waiting for, or is it just another flashy promise destined to fade away? And if it really delivers, could Tesla's EV dominance finally be under threat? One thing is certain. Revolutions in car tech don't just appear overnight. They are born from years of research, hidden experiments, and carefully guarded strategies. The YASA Flux engine is no different. Many assume it surfaced suddenly, but in reality Mercedes has been quietly working on it for years out of the spotlight with no grand claims, no hype, just relentless work behind the scenes. That silence was all part of Mercedes's master plan. Alright, let's rewind for a moment. Between 2010 and 2015, the electric vehicle wave really exploded. Tesla, with its early models, showed everyone that electric cars weren't just the future, they were already here. Mercedes, watching closely, realized one crucial thing. If they wanted to stay relevant, simply betting on batteries wasn't going to be enough. They had to reinvent the motor itself. So, that's when their eyes landed on a small but brilliant British company, YASA. This startup was already experimenting with axial flux motors. Their early prototypes hinted at a technology that could completely reshape the industry. Mercedes saw the potential, stepped in with support, and by 2019, they took full control of YASA. That move laid the foundation for what is now being called one of the most disruptive engines in modern automotive history. From the outside, it might have looked like a simple business deal, but in reality, this was the step that laid the foundation of the YASA Flux engine. Mercedes poured millions of dollars into the project, gave YASA full funding, and put hundreds of engineers to work day and night. Over the past decade, this quiet partnership transformed into one of Mercedes' boldest innovations. The company kept the project so secret that even industry experts had no clue. So, they tested it thoroughly. Thousands of hours of driving simulations, experiments in every condition, until they were fully confident. Only then did they announce it to the world. This move shows how much Mercedes has learned from Tesla. Tesla enters the market with a lot of noise, but Mercedes kept quiet, waited for the right moment, and then struck. This is their master plan. Say less, do more. So, what is the YASA Flux engine? Think about it for a second. Whenever we talk about cars, the first thing that comes to mind is the engine. Once upon a time, petrol and diesel ruled the roads, and then the era of electric cars took over. But today, the name making the most headlines is the YASA Flux engine. Mercedes has revealed it, and discussions about it are spreading all over the world. But what exactly is this engine, and why is it considered so special? Let's break it down in the simplest terms possible. YASA is a British company that originally developed this engine technology before Mercedes took it under its wing, and flux simply means magnetic flow. Now, understand this. Electric motors work on the interaction of electricity and magnets. Normal electric motors, which we call permanent magnet or induction motors, are thick and bulky. They take up more space and honestly weigh a lot more. But the magic of the YASA Flux engine is that it's very small, lightweight, and extremely powerful. So, now, what does axial flux mean? Let's put it in simple words. A normal motor rotates like a cylinder, while an axial flux motor rotates like a flat disc. In other words, instead of being a thick cylinder, this motor is like a thin round plate. The same question is being raised today about Mercedes' YASA Flux engine. From the information that has come out so far, it is clear that the Flux engine will currently be installed only in luxury and high-performance cars. The biggest reason for this is its initial cost. Being a new technology, its production cost is high, and companies would like to install it first in those vehicles where the price is already high. But this does not mean that it will always be expensive. As mass production begins, and the research cost is recovered, this engine can also reach affordable cars. Now let's talk about the challenges of manufacturing. The design of the Flux engine is as unique as it is difficult to make. Companies have been manufacturing ordinary motors for decades, but the production of an axial flux motor is completely new. It requires very precise magnets and coils, and honestly, it is not easy to connect and balance these machines. Mercedes may have the technology, but if it has to be installed in hundreds of thousands of vehicles, then it will have to prepare for mass production. Honestly, this is the biggest challenge. Along with this comes the stress of raw materials and the supply chain. Flux engines require rare earth elements such as neodymium magnets, and, well, their supplies are already limited to China and just a few other countries. If the demand for flux engines increases, the shortage of these metals may grow even further. This will increase prices and put pressure on companies. To deal with this problem, Mercedes will have to find new suppliers and perhaps also pay more attention to recycling technology. Now the question arises, when and how will the YASA Flux Engine arrive in future cars? Mercedes is currently preparing to bring it into its luxury sports cars and high-performance models. Flux engines can be included in vehicles like their AMG series. Its advantage in SUVs will be that despite being a heavy vehicle, the Flux engine will give more torque and more power, making the driving experience of the SUV even more fun. At the same time, the use of Flux engines in sports cars will make them capable of competing with vehicles like Tesla's Model S Plaid. Flux engines can also bring a big change in trucks and commercial vehicles. Heavy vehicles need more power and torque, and Flux engines deliver more power despite being lighter, which means that electric trucks and buses will hit the roads with more range and power than before. If we look at the picture after 2030, the Flux engine can become the new standard of the EV industry. Just like today, every company uses lithium-ion batteries in its cars. In the coming time, every company could move towards motor technology like Flux. It's possible that in the coming 7 to 8 years this technology will become so common that even affordable electric cars will start getting Flux engines. But here a big question arises. Is this really the future of the EV industry, or just another corporate promise? The history of the auto industry shows that many times companies talk big, but their technology does not turn out to be as effective once it enters production in the market. The real test of the Flux engine will also be when it is fitted in the vehicles of everyday customers and runs on the roads. So now the decision rests squarely with you, the viewer, the enthusiast, the critical thinker who shapes the future of mobility with your opinions and choices. Do you genuinely believe that the revolutionary YASA Flux axial flux engine represents the definitive next chapter, the technological leap that will truly change the future of electric vehicles, setting a new benchmark for power, efficiency, and design that will ripple across the entire automotive landscape for decades to come? Or, given the long and often disappointing history of ambitious prototypes, do you suspect this might ultimately fade away like so many other promising technologies that arrived with great fanfare, only to be sidelined by production hurdles, market realities, or the emergence of an even more disruptive innovation within a few short years? The conversation about what powers our vehicles is honestly one of the most critical of our time, and your perspective is, well, an essential part of it. We are genuinely eager to hear your informed opinion, your predictions, and your questions. Tell us what you think in the comments section below. Let's get a meaningful discussion started about the real-world potential of this technology beyond the press releases and the hype. And yes, a sincere thank you for investing your valuable time and staying with us until the very end of this video. Your engagement is what fuels our passion for digging deeper into these groundbreaking stories. If you found this exploration into Mercedes' secretive project and the potential shift in electric motor technology as fascinating as we did, then don't forget to take that next crucial step and subscribe to our channel. By subscribing, you ensure you won't miss out on our future deep dives, as we continue to bring you such amazing and true stories from the front lines of innovation, where we separate the speculative fiction from the tangible facts and analyze the developments that are genuinely shaping our world. We are committed to being your trusted source for content that not only informs but also provokes thought and discussion about the forces designing the future.